All appears set on the part of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for the conduct of the 2019 general elections, except for the urgent need to discuss with political parties some areas of concern that could negatively affect the exercise.
And this is a proper meeting.
It is for this reason that the INEC chairman is meeting leaders of 91 political parties that will be participating in the general elections next year. Vote buying, which has recently become so brazen, is the crux of discussion at this meeting. The national chairman of INEC opens discussion with a stern warning, promising to make scapegoats of vote buyers during the Osun governorship elections.
We are looking forward to the Osun state governorship election to make a very definitive statement on vote buying. We are right now working with the security agencies. We shall arrest, we shall prosecute, and make public show of how not to behave in a democracy. We will make a big statement on vote buying in the Osun governorship elections. And when the time comes, don't say you are not forewarned. You are forewarned. Whoever is involved, we are going to make a very powerful statement. We can't carry this menace into the 2019 general elections.
Besides the menace of vote buying, the electoral umpire also warns political parties to conduct free, fair and credible primaries in order to reduce post-election crisis, which could affect the 2019 elections.
The Commission has been doing everything to improve on the processes and the transparency of the processes, such that everyone in the country now knows that votes count. Credible elections begins with credible party primaries, and you are responsible for conducting credible party primaries.
It's about 161 days to the general elections and 2 weeks to the Osun governorship elections. How INEC chooses to handle vote buying during the Osun election will no doubt have a bearing on the general elections next year.
Well, to examine what actions are being put in place to curb vote buying, let's toss to Abuja. Markwe.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. I'm not very sure that my guests will know the actions being taken, but I'm sure they heard very clearly there the warning of the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu. Well, we have with us in the studio this morning Mr. Nwanyanwu, who is a national chairman, Zenith Labour Party, and we also have Mr. Yemi Akinbode, who is a national publicity secretary of the SDP.
Let me make a correction. Sorry, I'm not the National Publicity Secretary for now. I stepped out to run as the Deep Director General in Ekiti. Of course, the convention is coming up, so we're going to have...
So you have stepped down as National Publicity Secretary. Sorry about that mix-up. But gentlemen, you're both welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
I'm sure you heard very clearly there the stern warning of the INEC chairman saying that the status quo cannot continue. He sees this now as a real menace and a threat to our democracy, the issue of vote buying. They have said they are going to take measures, they're going to prosecute, they're going to make scapegoats of those who are trying to, in his words, should I say, truncate democracy. That's what I heard him say. Are you confident? Do his words inspire confidence in you as a politician that indeed something will be done this time around, 13 days, especially when we're looking at the Osun elections, which are just 13 days away?
Well, I want to tell Nigerians that I don't believe in that statement.
You don't?
I don't.
Why?
Because the INEC as umpire have been following this process for quite a long time. They participated in party primaries. And of course, vote buying. Vote buying were seen at party primaries where INEC officials participated. Now, of course, you didn't need to wait until Ekiti issue if the media had not escalated vote buying in Ekiti. And I'm sure INEC will not be talking about doing something, arresting, prosecuting, and making a public statement. Making a public statement does not mean anything to Nigerians. To me, this is a reaction to what people are saying. INEC, as an umpire, are supposed to be proactive. They are supposed to protect the integrity of voting process in Nigeria.
I think it's very important to separate the two roles. For one of the elections, for the main elections, for elective positions, INEC has the responsibility to conduct those elections. For primaries, it is the primary responsibility of political parties. From what we understand, INEC only goes there as an observer. What do you want INEC to do when they observe that votes are being bought during party primaries?
If you listen to Shebi yesterday, he listed about 48 items on their timeline, which include nomination of candidates and primaries. These are conducted under the watchful eyes of INEC.
As an observer?
As an observer. So you could raise notes, you could raise issues, you could raise questions and queries on the processes that led to the emergence of candidates. These primaries were highly monetized. You saw it. They can't just pretend as if they are not seeing it. We have evidence that INEC themselves compromised the process at every level. So for him to come and said he's going to make a public statement, to me, it's absolutely unacceptable, because they knew. He knew that we knew that the processes at every level were compromised, even by INEC officials.
Let's be more specific about what we're talking about, because when we make, blatant statements about INEC compromising the process, of course, Nigerians will be watching and asking, okay, how did they do so? Please tell us.
I'm not making any statement. I can tell you I was involved in Ekiti from the beginning to the end. And I knew the roles that some of these agents played. Let me give
INEC agents.
Whatever you call it, vote INEC, and even other security agents. Let me give you an instance. Let me give you a very clear instance. I requested for a voters list in my local government. This ordinarily is a free document that you should receive. But I several times in my hotel received INEC official call me to ask for support in terms of helping us. I said, look, as an INEC official, what do you mean by this? I have a document in my hand that was given to me by INEC officials. Are you getting me? This is a free document. They solicited for money, and I pay money to one of the accounts to get that document. But it's very little. You know that Nigeria are not being truthful at every level. I keep saying it. At every level. Whether you're a politician, we are not being truthful. We should just say the truth.
Let me quickly bring in the views of Mr. Nwanyanwu here. I mean, you also heard the INEC chairman there. Your colleague in SDP says, I don't believe him. Do his words hold water for you?
To the contrary, I think we should encourage INEC. I believe him. For the period I was away off scene, I took time to study the systems INEC have put in place that will move us out from the situation politicians believe that INEC had votes to give to them. And I'm satisfied. You recall, it was in this studio before the Ekiti election. I talked about the security. I said we should watch what will happen in Ekiti. INEC will put all the processes, but the security will mar the process. And indeed, they did. What is INEC chairman talking about? It has become embarrassing to the organization that people will buy votes, they are handicapped. The security agencies will be. I remember I gave an example where the attention of the security agencies was drawn. One of them was drawn. His attention was drawn to what was going on about 50 meters from the polling unit. He said, look, we are not here to monitor people distributing money. We are here to maintain law and order. Go and bring your own vehicle. You can park it there and distribute money.